Hey, English 232, Miss Brewer here for some feedback on your postmodern discussion forum. I have tons of notes here. I just want to start by saying that Salinger is one of my favorite authors, and some of you guys really hit the nail on the head with your posts and your thoughts and your analysis on 9 stories. And I really hope you guys enjoyed reading it as much as I enjoy reading it. I love these stories. I just think, beautiful commentary, and I love Salinger's style of writing and everything. So if you liked it, he has a couple of other things. There's not a lot from him. There's always all these rumors that there's going to be stuff released since he's died, but nothing's come out yet. So if you enjoyed reading it, you might enjoy The Catcher in the Rye, if you haven't read that before, or any of the stories of the Glass family. He has Franny and Zoe and Raise High the Roof Being Carpenters. Those are stories of the Glass family. So if you enjoyed reading about Seymour in 9 stories, there's more of his family in those stories. Just some more things to read when you're done with this class if you enjoyed that. So I have some feedback here. I'm gonna start with James. You talked about Seymour playing the game, searching for banana fish, and it's almost like hauntingly sad because he's searching, for some sort of semblance of innocence or almost escape from what he has suffered in the war. So Salinger makes some really, really important commentary here. Some notes in general for you guys at least in your initial responses. I want quotes. I want specific examples from the text. Can you see how affected I get by Salinger? It's crazy. I want specific examples from the text at least in your initial response, if not in your replies. All right. So really, I want you elevating your writing here and giving specific examples from the text. So please do that. And in responses, guys, your responses should be more than a sentence or 2. That's unacceptable in a response at this point in time. This is an upper level class, and I've addressed this in my previous discussion forum video, so I expect more. You're losing points if you're not doing that. So just be advised of that. It's imperative that you are not saying, I like what you said, I like your post, give me more, okay? I want more from that. You need to be engaging in the conversation. I want to see your brain working. I want to see you thinking. I want to see you saying, oh, I see what you're saying, but what about this example, which also highlights that? Or have you considered this? Okay, that's what I'm looking for in your responses. So if you're reading someone's post and you can't do that, go to someone else's post where you can. Many of you guys mentioned war, which is good, but what is Salinger saying about the effect of war? I mean, and he went to war, and it really affected him. And you see it throughout all of his writing, and you see, how disgusted he is, with the adult world, which is partially why he became a hermit, right? He got sick of it because he became so famous within his own time that he saw what humanity was. And he kind of withdrew from it. But it shows in his writing. It really does. I want you, if you want to know what I want to see in your discussion forum posts, I want you to read Avery Harper's post. This is what I look for. So good job, Avery. And then the way she provides analysis, the way she provides quotations, the depth of her post is what I'm looking for you guys for initial posts. And then Avery, something that you said that really stood out is you said that Seymour, I think you're talking about Seymour here, is an outcast in American society, and that's so right. He's this outcast, and we see it in the conversation with the doctor and all this, but he's an outcast in American society after serving America in war. So what is Salinger saying about that? And then something else you said, You said it exists in children, but you see Seymour trying to access this innocence through the childlike games, and that's very transcendentalist of him, Salinger, that is. The idea that innocence exists in children. And transcendentalists would say you have to approach life as a child to get back to that innocence and that world knowledge and that unearthly knowledge. You have to kind of go back to your childlike ways. So that might be a little transcendentalism in Salinger there. If you go to Avery's post to see what a post should be, you can also see what a reply should be by looking at Michaela's response, because she furthers the conversation and she gives even more examples, and that's what I'm looking for, okay, in a reply. Then Michaela, something that you said, Seymour is a symbol of innocence in his search for it through the childlike games, and he's also symbolic of innocence being ripped away, which is why he comes to such a violent demise, okay? His innocence is ripped from him, and he ends up dying in a very violent, ripping him away from kind of life experience. And then you talk about the effects of war and give these great examples, so nice job to you. And then, with the apple quote from Teddy, okay, that's so important, that particular quote, and how and it literally is showing how children's innocence is damaged by the adults in the adult world. And Salinger writes about that in everything. You know, you look at Catcher in the Rye, which is his most famous work, and he shows through Holden Caulfield a warped view of what adulthood is, and Holden feeling like he's been thrown into this adult world when he loses his brother. So, you know, that's a big theme in Catcher in the Rye, which is Salinger's most famous work. Some of you may have read it in high school. I made my high school students read it, but that's because I love Salinger. Allison adds to Lily's post really effectively, so you can look at that as well. This is what I want to see in replies. And then in her response to Daly, Michaela stated, Teddy's death came from his loss of innocence and his inability to remain entangled in the adult world. What a powerful statement. And again, that's a theme rampant throughout Salinger's work. And that postmodernism, like this realist, like painful kind of symbolism in writing, that's really, really indicative of that postmodernism kind of thing. And then finally, I just want to mention Sierra, because Sierra mentioned that Salinger really uses his children as a tool to illustrate innocence, and that's 100% right. In Salinger's writing, you're going to see it, and you're going to see that children's innocence being ripped away from them, and then what that adult world does is really runs rampant through his writing. And again, that kind of postmodern punch you in the face, like reality and sadness is there. So some of you guys had some really nice things to say in your forum, and I appreciated that. When you guys participate in the Bluest Eye discussion forum, please bear in mind the feedback that I'm giving you in this video, and make sure that this is your last discussion forum, so make sure you really step it up on this one. And I will check in with you guys when we move on to the contemporary period. Hope you're enjoying the Bluest Eye, and hopefully we'll see some really good discussion in that forum. Have a good week.